Hello everyone. I think almost every developer has faced problem with error handling and with converting response from different libraries into one consistent format by their own application. In this video, I would like to show how the DS Express Errors library can simplify this process. Most importantly, the library does not bring any additional dependencies into your project. It has 0 dependencies. This makes it much easier and safer to control exactly what you add to your project. So let's install the library. Next thing we need to do is to apply the errorHandler middleware after all our routes. As you can see, the single line is already enough to start solving this problem. The library errorHandler catches errors that occurs in the application, recognize them, and convert them into consistent HTTP response. There aren't even any check in our route, but the library understands what happened, where, and how. It then formulates a response and sends it to us. In the node, we can see that simply connection errorHandler is enough for the library to work. However, without additional configuration, the library uses a technique called duck typing to recognize errors. This means it checks the structure and properties of the error to determine where it came from. For stricter and more reliable error recognition, we can add simple configuration. To implement this, we need the error classes property. Error classes allow the library to perform stricter check by using the actual object and error classes provided by those libraries. This approach is what allows this Express error to remain a zero-dependency library. Instead of installing Prisma or other package internally, the developer passes the library already used in the project to the configuration. For example, we can provide Prisma and Zot. We use objects taken directly from libraries as the object being passed. As we can see, there is no obvious difference in the response. However, internally error recognition is now performed using stricter comparisons instead of relying only on duck typing. The DS Express Errors library supports various popular libraries, but how can we configure our project so that checks are only carried out on the libraries we have installed? For that purpose, we can use property needMappers. Allow us to specify which supported library are actually used in our project. This prevents these Express errors from running unnecessary check for libraries that are not installed or used in the application. But now, how we may look at this response and think that its format does not match the response format used by our application. How can we change? This is exactly what the format error property is designed for. The library does not try to force your application into one specific response structure. Instead, it gives you the flexibility to define the format that matches the requirements of your own project. The format error function receives 3 parameters: the error object, the request object, and the isDef parameter. The isDef parameter allows you to return different information depending on whatever the application is running in the development or production environment. For example, let us use a response structure based on the JSON API standard format. As we can see, the response format has changed and follow the structure that we defined. Previously, I mentioned that format error can return different information depending on the current environment. But where do we define which environments are considered development or production? The dev environments property is designed for this purpose. By default, it contains the value dev and development. You can redefine this property if your project uses different environment names. The library checks the value of node.nv from nv file. If this value is included in dev environments, the application is treated as running in development mode, and error response can include more detailed information for developer. If the current environment is not included in dev environments, the library automatically treats it as a production environment. In production mode, it intentionally limits error details and protects sensitive information from being exposed in the response. This brings the first part of the video about the capability of DS Express errors to an end. In the next part, we will discuss more advanced library features including graceful shutdown and the ready-to-use HTTP error presets. If you have any question about library, feel free to leave them in the comments. I will be happy to answer them. You can also share your suggestions and ideas either in the comments or in the ideas section of GitHub discussions. Thank you for your watching.